Okay, first things first. The crowd, the crowd, the crowd. That was as loud as I've ever heard the bill. And I knew they were going to be cranked up when I came in the parking lot, and they were electric tonight, and they helped us win that football game. I cannot thank our fans and our fan base enough. They were loud, and it affected their offense some. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we had a really mapped out plan from last Saturday at 3 o'clock in the humidity in New Orleans of how we were going to get to Friday night at 7 o'clock, from hydration to nutrition to practice time to a bunch of walkthrough time. And we pulled back on the guys from a practice standpoint, and we laid out a plan. And Scott Troush and Lance Yancey and Mindy Hoffman, True Carroll, all of our OPT staff did a phenomenal job of helping us orchestrate and get that plan set. And our kids were fresh tonight after a tough travel week. Third, it is all on me at the end of the first half. It is all on me. I've got to be better in that situation, and I should have just called the timeout. That's not on the kid. That is 100% on me, and I told him that. Lastly, our quarterback's a pretty good player, and he rose up tonight when we needed him to, and played really good football and was really calm, and made some plays with his feet, made some plays with his legs, and that was a fun performance to watch him. Two plays changed this game and turned it around. Keenan Garber's interception when they were going in to score, the second time they had the ball, big-time pick. And then I said in the pregame meal, I think our punt return can get a touchdown today. And they kicked it, and it was supposed to be a middle return, and we give him the opportunity, if he feels like he can get the edge, to take it. And he took the edge, and it was gone, and it was over. And it was fun to watch. So total team win, hard game, good football team we beat. That wideout's an absolute stud, and we're happy to have a win and have a little bit of time tomorrow.
Chris, on Keenan's interception, he starts up at the line of scrimmage across from Tate, ends up in the end zone intercepting the pass when he's going to somebody else. Was that the design on that, or did he just make a great read?
Well, he was in zone. He was in a deep third on a zone. And the other corner or the other safety was converging as well. And he read the quarterback's eyes. And Keenan's got a second gear. He's got another gear. And for him to go jump that thing was a big-time play.
And at the end of the first half, what was your plan? Ideally, if things went right, were you thinking that play would end before 11 seconds and then kick a field goal?
Yep. Ideally, we had thought that. Didn't. And that's on me. That's on me. Either that or I should have called timeout with 13 seconds left and said, throw it away, we'll kick the field goal. And if it's not there, throw it out of the end zone. Totally on me. Totally on me. A terrible gaffe, and I'm not accustomed to making those mistakes, and I'll learn from it, and it won't happen again.
For the defense to step up like they did today after the way they struggled last Saturday, did you notice anything during the week that sort of told you that they'd be performing the way they did today?
Well, collectively, as a football team, we had a great week of practice and a great week of preparation, and our leadership, which started at halftime of the Tulane game, rose up this whole week, and that's a really good offense. We were trying to take away probably everything in the first half, especially that first drive, because we didn't know. They played two games. They didn't show a whole lot. They ran the ball pretty well in that first drive. They found four a couple of times. They methodically moved it down, didn't give up any big plays, and they scored. And it was 14 plays, and I was like, okay, guys, now you got the speed of the game. And then after that, once we took away the run and made them one-dimensional, we were in good shape. Because that quarterback could scramble. He dropped back 15, 18 yards. He was scrambling. We weren't going to sack him very much. We just had to play great coverage, and we were able to do that. And we got off the field a number of times at critical moments, and hats off. We played a ton of guys on defense, as we always do, and they all played well.
You mentioned stopping the run. How important is that for you guys to make teams one-dimensional?
Yeah, if you can make them one-dimensional, which is really hard, but that's you gotta have some balance. And I know that there's things everybody wants us to throw it more. Run. You got to have balance. And if you cannot run the football, and that's what it came down to late. They had 19 rushes for 56 yards, and we had 41 rushes for 235 yards. You got to be able to rush the football, and you got to be able to stop the run.
Was it dictated by the reads and the scrambles, or was the intention to run Avery that much tonight?
A little bit of both. Sometimes it was the design of the play where the read was probably going to be pretty easy for him. And then there were some other designs where we either knew we were going to get him to run, or we gave it to the running back and they all thought Avery was going to keep it. And then we got some big gains on that. I think the first couple times when you crack them, then you're like, okay, now what are we going to stop? And we had a good balance with that, with DJ, Dylan, and Avery. And some of the plays, I honestly will tell you, they were keen on Dylan when we brought him in the game and screaming, there's where he's at. And I understand that. So he had to be a little bit of a decoy a few times, but then Avery scampered for 15, 18, 20 yards, and that was the design.
Back to Avery, there were a couple third down plays in that third quarter when you guys started to pull away that he ran, and they just didn't have any answers for them. Just how big of an advantage is running ability?
Yeah, if you don't keep him in the pocket, and we struggled with their quarterback keeping him in the pocket too, but when you don't keep him in the pocket, he'll scramble, and you think, oh boy, he took a lot of depth on his scramble, but he covers ground so fast. It was, 3rd and 8. We're like, did he make it? Yeah, he made it by 6 yards because he's just got that second gear. And that's demoralizing when you can't get off the field because a young man is using his legs, and he made a great play scrambling out, finding Jace on the 3rd and long in the third quarter after we had struggled in that start of that third quarter. That was a great catch by Jace. It was a good throw and keeping it alive by Avery. But that big time explosive play for whatever 39 or 40 yards, I think settled us down to the fact of, okay, then we started clicking on all cylinders offensively and scored on most of our possessions after.
McMillan ended up with 11 catches. What was the plan on him, and just limiting the post-catch damage?
Try not to let him have 20 catches, and he made some really unbelievable catches. And even the one they called him out of bounds on, holy cow. I thought the coverage was pretty good. He's just really special, and we were trying to keep the ball in front of us, and we thought that was important for him not to have, what was his long was 38 and on the one play in the second quarter, I think. Just trying not to give up the 60-yarders, and he's going to catch some balls in front. And, we were playing press and playing over the top, but he's 6'5", and with a huge catch radius that we were excited when it was catch tackle because that got him in 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5 and kind of kept us ahead of the sticks a little bit.
I think by the time you put that game away in the fourth quarter, I think Arizona only ran 17 plays in the second half.
I couldn't tell you that.
I'm just saying,
Yep.
complementary football and to be able to
Yep.
control the ball offensively, how important is that to just sort of kind of dominate? It's like,
Yeah. And I know at least one time I thought Colby McAllister came in and made a great play on 4th down to get us another possession. And even though we only got a field goal out of that, we took 4 or 5 minutes. We were chewing the clock up quite a bit, and part of that was we were more successful on 3rd down. We were 7 of 13, which a little over 50% is really good. They were 5 of 14, and then 1 of 4 on 3rd down or 4th down. 1 of 4 on 4th down is essentially like getting a couple extra turnovers, and we were 1 for 1, and I was kind of white knuckling that one on that 4th and I don't know if it was a foot or a yard. I kept convincing myself it was a foot because I didn't want, our defense was gassed, and I think maybe that was the second or third or fourth play of the drive, and I'm like, I'm not giving the ball back to those guys, so happy that we were able to get that one.
Did you think from an early point in this game you were winning the line of scrimmage both ways?
Yes, I did. I thought we stepped up on the offensive line and played really well. We played a lot of guys, Andrew Leingang, John Pastore, played a lot of football along with the 5 starters, and then we played all those D linemen.
2 questions. First one is, what do you feel like Kansas State showed college football tonight?
That we can be a complete team, we're getting there. We're getting better. I have seen marked improvement on Monday through Friday from a practice standpoint. That we've got more in us probably, but we can play fast on defense. We have some playmakers on offense. We're not one-dimensional like a lot of people think we are. I thought Avery spun the ball really well today. And, I don't know what we're trying to prove to everybody else. We need to prove to ourselves that we can sustain this and keep playing at a high level. Only way you play at a high level is by preparing and practicing at a high level. And that's what I challenge the guys with is that was a great week of preparation. Now we've got to do it again.
We know you're really good at special teams, Chris. Why did you get the feeling that a punt return was imminent tonight?
I don't really want to tell you that, D. Scott, because of a scheme that we had. But what we had worked on all week, we really thought that we could hook up with their guys a little bit. And they've got a really good kicker and a really good punter. And, sometimes the further you punt the ball, the harder it is to cover. And we got a little seam, and you guys know what I know. When Dylan Edwards gets a crease or gets an edge on a sideline, he can take it the distance, and that was one of the reasons why we felt really comfortable with it.
They showed a stat on the broadcast that you guys have, I think, 68 punt return touchdowns since 2005, or return touchdowns since 2005. How
Only
important
been
are
here 5+ years, 6 years?
how important are special teams for you guys, and
they've
how
gotta be
much
the
can they
difference.
change the game?
That's what I told the guys in the pregame. It's got to be the difference, and it's been fun. We had a block punt for a touchdown. We've had a punt return for a touchdown, and Chris is kicking the ball well, and we've got to continue to get better and better in that area. Okay, thanks everyone.